Are you guys ready? Welcome to HackZurich 2022. I'm Rasmus and the co-founder of HackZurich, and I've been the presenter since the beginning. This year is actually the first year where I can't make it anymore because I'm pretty busy with my startup Merantix these days. I have actually a lot of great memories when I think back about HackZurich. I mean, all the sleepless nights, all the foods, the midnight snacks, the great challenges from the partners who have been working with us for many years, but also all the great projects that presented on Sunday at HackZurich, but also that were continued after HackZurich. And yeah, it's not easy for me, and I hope you will have a great hackathon. I actually know that because you will also have a great presenter. Igor has been taking over. And Igor is actually maybe much better suited than I am because he actually won HackZurich a couple of years ago. I never even participated in HackZurich, and so I think he knows much better than I do what it's like to be part of HackZurich, and he will guide you through it. And yeah, I wish you all a great weekend, lots of hacking, little sleep, great food, and first and foremost, a lot of fun. Thank you. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, and welcome to HackZurich 2022. So some of you might wonder what I'm doing here. Why and how do I ended up in this situation? So actually the story is very, very long. In 2013, there used to be a hackathon in Zurich, the very first of its kind. It was organized by the ETH Entrepreneur Club. It wasn't even called HackZurich, but it would become it in the next year. And I was participating with a friend. We just went there for fun. There were like 30, 40 other people. And we thought hackathons are all about making games. So what we did is we built a game. It was about water pollution and how you can showcase people that it's problematic. And we actually won the second prize. It was a lot of fun. And then after that, I thought like, hey, why not participating in all of these events? And then in the subsequent years, I participated. I never won anything, not even any small prize, but I had a lot of fun. And some of the projects turned out to be really a lot of fun. And one of them I want to show you just in a second. So before I'm going to play the video, I actually recorded a demo before we had the real pitch. Before I play the video, what you see here is basically a handwritten sign. And our idea was to use machine learning to digitize it. So basically, we use the printer to scan it and turn it into a digital copy. And I'm going to play it for you now. So this was on Saturday, so we didn't manage back then to also get the icon digitized, but then we were working on it. Now, this is not the Wi-Fi password for this year. It has changed, and it's also not the one on the back of your badge. Actually, take a look at the handouts we have on the walls here, and you will also see the Wi-Fi password later. So what I wanted to show you with this quick video is basically hackathons can be a lot about fun, about doing things you would never do in your life, basically writing an app for a printer. So in 2018, then finally participated again. Didn't have many hopes, but a really cool team. We had a lot of fun, and we actually won in the end. So 2018 with Team Deepbusters. And based on the hackathon, we then also actually started a startup. Now let's stop talking about the past and about today. Today we have actually 500 participants on site. And we have 800 participants remote. So overall, we have 1,300 participants this year, which is one of the largest hackathons actually in the world. We have over 90 nationalities and over 600 cities from over 70 countries. Now, I think I checked before, the world has roughly 195 nationalities and 195 countries. So actually talking to anyone in Discord, you could meet half the different nationalities that are available almost, which is actually pretty cool. We also have some statistics about who attended the previous events. And you see actually we do have some alumni here that were hardcore hackers, even more than I was. And actually, 8 participants participated in all 9 years. So big round of applause for them. There are also some fun facts about the years of programming experience. There are some that just started coding. It looks that there's some Gaussian distribution around 4, 5, 6 years, but there's also a clear outlier of people that programmed for more than 10 years. So now let's talk about the rules. There are only a few of them, but they're very important. So first of all, the team size. Wanted to have teams between 2 and 5 people. Don't make a solo project. It's not fun, and you're not going to get stuff done in time. Also, don't build too large teams. And please build a working prototype. This is not a consulting workshop for slides. So we want to have something that works. I always build a working prototype. So here are some other rules for the workshops, basically. So there are different workshops from different partners, and they will also have presentations today. You can go there if you don't have an idea yet, and that might help you getting some inspiration on what to work on. We also have a lot of volunteers helping out this year. They all have this crew shirt, as I have it. And also Benny and Petra, a big applause for them, which are basically organizing this whole event. Thanks a lot. Also, if you have any question, any issue during the event, please go to a person with a crew shirt and we can help you. There is also a social media team, and I will hand over quickly to Maurizio.
All right, hello guys. HackZurich, are you ready? Come on. Did you have to look that up in Stack Overflow? Come on, are you ready? Yes, sir. That we're talking about. Very good. So, thank you very much, Igor. My name is Mauricio de Souza, and I will be your social media host. Together with my team, Diana, Helene, and Francisca, we are going to be giving our best to give you entertaining content and challenges. And for that, we also need your help. So please post your impressions using our hashtag HackZurich, or tagging us in your favorite social media, which is Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. We're giving our best to create a TikTok channel as well. Just received that input before. Or also post them, please, in the hashtag fun channel, or DM me right directly. Really looking forward to be here with you guys. And I'm really curious about your ideas, your project. So I already talked about or mentioned challenges. We are going to organize for the guys remotely a preview session. So on Saturday, 12:30 until 1:30 in our time here in Switzerland, obviously, we are going to host a pitching session. And for the people here on site, there will be a real elevator pitch. As you already saw, there are 2 really cool elevators out there. So let's use it and for yourself as well, for your 5 minutes of fame, host an elevator pitch. And for that, please contact me directly in Discord or my team. Yeah, and for Igor already mentioned these 8 veterans and all other veterans that are participated more than 3 times. I would be very happy to hear your experience and host and hold an interview with you guys. All right. Thank you very much, and I will give it back to Igor. See you around.
So, of course, a special thanks also goes to our partners. Without them, the whole event wouldn't be possible. We have our gold partners. We have silver partners. We also have bronze partners. We have supporting partners. And general partners. So as you know, we need a lot of partners to make this happen. Now, very important, the Wi-Fi password. I also had issues getting into it. The SSID is HackZurich, but the password is hack, And 2022, it's not 2022, but it's a 2022. So be mindful of that. It should also be written on the different walls in the printouts. It should be accessible everywhere, even maybe a bit outside. And if you have any large data sets or something, you can also ask one of the crew members and we can give you access to an Ethernet cable. Of course, there will be food and drinks. We all need to eat to be healthy and also to work. There will be free meals a day served. Between the meals, there will be snacks all around. There will be also midnight snacks around 12. If you get the meal, please bring your badge just to make sure that we give the meals to people that actually registered to the event and not others from the Technopark that walk around, because it's also a working facility. And please eat at the desk, and after eating, also please make sure you move away the trash into the corresponding bins. We also have cups we can hand out, and please add your name to it to reduce the waste. You can also check hackzurich.com/guide for any further details. There will be also sleeping rooms. These will be refunctioned rooms without much light, so you can basically rest there. Where these rooms are, you can also have a look in the guide, and during which hours basically it should be a sleeping area. There will also be dedicated rooms for women. Now for reimbursement, you should have received an email. If not, please get in touch with us. And please also check the policy on how to do reimbursement. Please also make sure you have the receipts and everything. And please be honest, like we all try to make this event very successful and also make sure we can do it again without any issues. Now for communication, Maurizio already mentioned, you can not only share things in social media with us, you can also ask questions if there's any issue. The main channel for the event will be Discord. You have here the URL. I think most of you already found it. And please activate notifications, especially for the general channels. If there's any important happening, we will inform you through this channel. Again, if you don't find the Discord link after this, please just go to the website and you find everything there. Now, for those of you that don't have a team, I would actually highly recommend to go to this team matching session. It will happen semi-virtually using Discord, probably tonight at 11 p.m. Swiss time, and the instructions will be shared there. If you have an idea, you can also then have a short slot to pitch your idea, and the others can then join. So you can also meet the partners. Some of them will host workshops, and you can also talk with them about the hack projects or also other things you're interested in. To do that, please fill out the form. You find it here. It will also be online, and the partners will get back to you. Once you get in touch with them, you can also talk to the partners through Discord. They have the dedicated Discord channels for the different workshops. You can also then collaborate outside of the hack. Please do use Discord mindfully. Don't spam others. If you find someone that's really annoying and spamming everybody, you can also let us know and we try to block this person. And if you're looking for a job, basically, you can also go to the career page, and this is on hackzurich.com/jobs. Now, for the project submission on Sunday, we use CreatorSpace to upload the project. And this year, we will do the following. You will upload a 2-minute video. So this is basically the pitch. And you will also add some further details about the different team members through a Google form. And the deadline is Sunday, 9 a.m. Swiss time. Please be aware of that. The evaluation process is done using the main jury, and they will do a pre-selection. There will be no live pitches for the pre-selection. We have many teams. We will have many projects, so it will be a bit difficult to do this in time. And basically, they will look at what you submitted in the 2-minute video and in the forms. And the workshop prizes will be selected by the workshop provider companies. Now for the finalist pitches, these will be on stage, these will be live, or if you're remote, this will be streamed. So please make sure that you have everything ready to connect your notebook or whatever. I also had issues in the previous years. We will announce this on Sunday over lunchtime. So during lunch, please listen carefully if your team is called out. And then please come here if you're on site, so the technical team can take care of any cable and connections. And if you're remote, please make sure your webcam is working, your microphone is working, and screen sharing is working. And again, just to highlight, demos are more important than fancy slides. The evaluation criteria, this is just for transparency. This is how the jury will evaluate your project. There are 4 different groups: the idea, use case, the experience, the implementation, and then the pitch finally. So this is also just for transparency, that you know how the jury will judge your projects. This is the jury. Please also give a big round of applause for them. Several of them were also juries in the years I participated, so they know what to expect. And then for the actual prizes you can win, there will be 3 main prizes, so the first, second, and third prize. There will be 19 workshop prizes, so for each of the workshops. There will be also an audience award, a CV award, and 2 hybrid teams award. The hybrid team awards will be for teams that are formed between local people here in Zurich on site and people that are remote and working together. This is just for the schedule. This is for today. So basically, we're currently finishing the opening ceremony, and then we will have dinner. Then afterwards, we will have the different workshops. There will be 2 rounds of workshops, so you can at least attend 2 of them. You can also split up with others in the team to maybe attend more. And then afterwards, you can join the team matching session in case you don't have the team full yet, or you're still looking for others. And then there will be the midnight snack, the first one tonight. So tomorrow morning, breakfast will be served 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. There will also be free massaging sessions, which is actually pretty cool. So thanks a lot for the organization of that. And then afterwards, you can also have a tech talk. You can join them and get inspiration there as well. Then there will be lunch, city tours, and dinner and midnight snack again. So there will be 2 sessions for the massage, 9 to 12, and then 1:30 to 5. It's on the 3rd floor. This will be in the middle of the main room outside. And you should book your slot. There will be only limited slots, so if you're very interested, please sign up there. There's also the option to join a city tour. You can actually do this every year here, which is very nice if you want to explore a bit Zurich. There will be the requirement for a public transportation ticket, and there will be free groups basically leaving of 20 people for a 2-hour trip. So if you're interested in that, also please get in touch with us. Then for Sunday, most important day, after hopefully no sleep, or maybe a little bit of sleep, you will have the last breakfast, and then you will have the project submission deadline. So this is at 9 a.m. This is basically when you have to register and submit your project. This will be then evaluated by the jury to announce the finalists at 12:30. And then afterwards, we will have the closing ceremony with the pitches of the finalists. And finally, there will be some apéro afterwards. And now I would like to hand over the word to Matthias Hölling from Technopark, which is hosting the whole event here, right?
Hello. It's always, thank you very much. It's always great to see so many excited and faces full of expectations. Is one of the highlights of the year, really, in the Technopark Zurich. There are very few events where we have a lot of events, but there are very few where we have so many people, and it's always a pleasure to welcome you. It's for the 9th time, so there are 8 people that have seen me up here before in the audience, and just a few words about where you are here. We are a business center with mainly tech companies, about 250 companies, 47,000 square meters of rental space, actually 6 elevators. And we do have for the startups, we have some development support, we have networking events, we have a special a panel that advises startups. So if you are really successful with your project here, you like other people, like Rasmus has said, found a startup, then you're welcome to get in touch with you again, and we are welcome to. We will be happy to welcome you here. So have a great time. Thank you.
Then we would move on to the partners, and they would also present themselves quickly. And the first one is Migros.
Hi, everyone. So for Migros, supply chain has to have to be resilient and sustainable. For the resilience part, we need you at this hack. For the sustainability part, we'll show you a quick video what we do already.
Migros is the world's most sustainable retailer, but that's not enough for us. We have voluntarily committed to even more ambitious climate goals and will continue to reduce our CO2 emissions drastically. We're currently working particularly hard optimizing our goods transportation, be it by road, rail, air or on water. The guiding principle here is prevent, reduce, offset. Our lorry fleet is constantly being upgraded with new sustainable vehicles, electric, hydrogen and biogas engines. We use different types of vehicles depending on the area of application. Electric lorries are especially well suited to towns and cities. Its quiet engine is greatly appreciated when making early morning deliveries to residential districts. Our hydrogen-powered lorries have a greater range and are therefore mainly used for long distances. Steam is the only thing these lorries emit. Our biogas lorries emit almost 80% less CO2 than diesel vehicles. One of our partners produces biogas directly from our organic waste. In this way, we are closing the cycle. Wherever possible, we avoid transporting our goods by lorry and do so by rail instead. Travelling by train is not just environmentally friendly for people. The same applies to Migros products. We transport about half of our goods by rail. This makes us SBB Cargo's biggest customer. Even in areas without direct rail connections, such as Samidan in the Engadine, we transport goods by train as far as possible. Lorries are used for only the last few meters.
Okay, you can find the whole video on our landing page, and we're happy to meet you at the booth, at the workshop, and at HackZurich. Thank you very much.
And then our next partner, Zurich.
This works. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sofian. I'm the program lead at the HackZurich Foundation, the Foundation of Zurich. And I'm very glad to be with you tonight to speak about volunteering. So this challenge, number 2, is about connecting your brain to your heart. Maybe you can imagine a world where you could have the power given for a weekend to change people's life. Would you take it? That's a very low yes. This being said, this is your power for the weekend. I'd like to start with a short story. I've been in Milan a few months ago with the HackZurich Foundation team, and I met with Joyce. Joyce is a 25-year-old woman who had lost track of life. With Zurich and the HackZurich Foundation, she entered a program where a Zurich employee gave her time as a volunteer to help Joyce build a better future. After we had met with Joyce, she confessed that this volunteering opportunity she had been through with the Zurich employee had actually empowered her in such a way she felt anything good could happen to her in life. So you see how the power and the opportunity created by volunteering opportunity is key to connect someone who wants to do good with someone who's in need of a mentor could actually be impactful. At the HackZurich Foundation with Zurich, we would like to create and think about a system to connect the people who are interested to do good with those who are actually in need of support. We would like to waken up the activist in all of you. We would like to make you those brains and heart. We will help us to achieve better future for marginalized youth in the world. At the HackZurich Foundation, we really thrive every day to help youth to access livelihood opportunities, education, speak out about how they feel and about their needs in general. This means that if you want to be the change maker you have always dreamed to be, the moment is now. Thank you.
Then our next partner, Optiver.
Hey everyone, I'm Niels, a software engineer at Optiver. We're one of the world's largest market makers and based in Amsterdam. But what the hell is a market maker? Does anybody know? Hands up if you do. Yeah, that's as many hands as I expected, so pretty much nobody. So last year, we tried to explain market making on the same stage using a house plant. Since pretty much nobody remembered, we clearly have to try again. I could give you now a boring lecture, or I could tell you a story. So our story begins in the 16th century, a golden age for Gouda production. Meet Mr. von Kaas, a Dutch Gouda maker who came to Switzerland to expand his business. But sadly, Mr. von Kaas cannot find any Gouda lovers in Switzerland. In disappointment, he's about to go home. But meet Mr. Frank, a local market maker in cheeses who sees the opportunity. Mr. Frank buys the Gouda from Mr. von Kaas. Mr. von Kaas is happy, he made a profit and goes back to the Netherlands. A few days later, Frau Frey returns from her vacation in Amsterdam and strolls across the local market. She deeply misses Dutch Gouda. If only she could find some in Switzerland. She smells the Gouda and gets all excited. She buys the Gouda from Mr. Frank, and in this way, the Gouda market was created in Switzerland. What you just witnessed is a market maker creating opportunity in new market by always offering to buy and sell. This still happens today, only we do not trade cheeses, buy financial instruments. And that's what we do at Optiver. We only highly automated all across the world, millions of times a day and within nanoseconds. Our challenge for you is to step into our shoes for this weekend and build an algorithm to trade in new markets. If this made you curious, please join our workshop and challenge later tonight. Hope to see you at our booth outside where you can have some Dutch Gouda, stroopwafels and coffee. See you there. Thank you.
Awesome. And the ticker? Okay. And then the next one, Sunrise. Okay.
Good evening, everyone. Also, warm welcome from our side from Sunrise to the HackZurich. My name is Sven. I'm working for Sunrise since more or less 2 years now. And for the people who don't know us, we are the leading private telecommunication company in Switzerland. And we had a merger last year. We came together, so the two companies, Sunrise and UPC, and we grow from 1,500 employees to over 3,000 in 1 year. So when we came together, and we're quite a digital and innovative company. Why are we here at the HackZurich? Last year was also our first year at the Hack, and on Sunday, when the projects were submitted, we reviewed them, and it just blew us away what you created in 40 hours of programming. It was crazy. And it was really difficult for us to decide the winner, and I think it will be as difficult as well this year. And the winner, we invited them afterwards to our joint innovation center we have together with Huawei, where we show in our office in Zurich what the 5G technology can offer to different industries. So you can explore there
in the agriculture section, and in sports, esports, gaming, etc., what 5G can deliver. So that's why we decided to come definitely again to the HackZurich with a cool challenge, which you see a little bit later, together with Swiss Ski, typical Swiss sport, skiing, and together with Huawei. Yeah, I wish you a lot of fun during this weekend, and yeah, a lot of success. Thank you very much.
Then our next partner, SB Hack.
No, it's the other one.
I was mildly confused for a second. I don't have a presentation, which is nice, as the other team members, but I'm very happy to introduce SB Hack, which is Swiss Blockchain Hackathon. It's kind of a sub-branch within HackZurich. My name is Jose Aguinaga. I'm the head of digital assets at Seba Bank. I have roughly 10 years of technical experience in software engineering. I have also been working in blockchain and crypto experience for a few years, and I haven't won or participated as many hackathons here, but nevertheless, I also been participating in a few hackathons online and on site. So, SB Hack. So SB Hack focuses on real innovation around existing technology for future solutions. So we have been doing a partnership with HackZurich for over 3 years now. We have leveraged on blockchain and Web3 technologies for multiple solutions and challenges that you will see. And we have already 2 workshops, which was part of the confusion. Casper Labs and Bellas are here, that we're going to showcase and invite everyone to participate with us. So just a very mild introduction about Seba Bank. We are a Swiss-regulated financial institution that offers institutional-grade digital custody and banks. I was forced by marketing to put this slide. Don't get angry at me. But now the fun part, we have a bunch of challenges, which is we have consumer-oriented utility tokens with Casper, and we have a token NFT information explorer with Bellas. If you have any questions or any information, or you just want to get your hands dirty with blockchain or crypto technology, I invite you to participate in any of these 2 challenges. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you, and we can wait what you are going to build.
Thank you. So now our keynote speaker, unfortunately, is a little bit delayed with his plane. So we will go further with the workshops and then go back to the keynote. Now, for the workshops, there will be 19, as mentioned. The first one will be hosted by Migros. So this will be teasers for the actual workshop that you see the time when it's happening at 8 and 8:45.
Well, we've probably all seen empty shelves like these in the last few years, be it due to natural disasters, strikes, a pandemic, or just a ship that got stuck at Suez Channel. All these events and more can impact the global supply chains and, in the end, the supply of a whole population. But let's start from the beginning. Hi, everyone. I'm Tobias from Migros. As you might know, Migros is the biggest retailer in Switzerland and also the biggest private employer with over 97,000 employees and a lot of interesting job openings in IT. We transport our goods with 400 rail wagons each day and up to 1,000 trucks. In addition, about 9,000 containers arrive each year by sea freight. With that, we play a key role in the supply security of Switzerland. And thanks to our supply chain twin system, we know anytime which products are located where along the supply chain. However, transparency alone is not enough. With your creativity and with your skills, we want to make our supply chain more resilient and more secure. We want you to anticipate, scan, and predict potential risks along the supply chain as early as possible and match them with our global supply chain logistics data. With that, we want to be able to anticipate, to see which products could be impacted by which risks along the supply chain. Join us for the workshop and learn more about our supply chains, our digital supply chain twin systems, the data you can use, and the impact you can make. Help us having full shelves anytime.
Thank you. Then the next workshop by Zurich.
Thank you, everybody. I'm James Moffat from Zurich Insurance. I'm actually one of the veterans here. I've been here, I think, 6 years in a row, not quite 9, but getting a little while. We're inviting you to help people volunteer, and I'm going to play a short video to get things started. I hope.
Hey! Hey, hackers. Are you ready for anything? Because we need a hand. You want to do good for the world, right? Yeah. And we know you like helping people. Well, we need you to help people who want to help other people. Okay, let me put it this way. We want to connect volunteers with good causes and organizations that actively help communities. To empower people, good, selfless people who want to give back, to use their skills and passions for the greater good. But often the search is slow, time-consuming, and leads to nowhere. After all, there are hundreds of volunteering opportunities for different skill sets and causes. We want our employees to find the right match, the one that excites them and where they can make the most impact. That's where you come in, hackers. Yeah, you. So, join us in creating solutions and platforms that will connect the right people with the right causes and build a pipeline of connections around the world. Think of it as playing matchmaker. Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. I mean, how cool is that? We know you've got big hearts and crazy skills. So come on, hackers, the ball's in your court.
So everybody here is a volunteer. The number of people being paid here is quite small. It's the people who've organized the event itself, but everybody else is a volunteer. You all know why you do it. You're meeting people, you're making friends, you're going to have a good weekend. You're also going to leverage some skills. You maybe learn some new skills, and you will get involved in things that you might not otherwise get involved with. The challenge is that lots of people never even get to that first stage of participating in something voluntarily. Even with Google, modern search engines, and so on, finding a volunteering opportunity that meets the skills that somebody has, the time that they have, and the commitment they want to make isn't necessarily easy. We encourage you to consider this to be a worthwhile challenge. Help people find the types of challenges they can face, match the skills they want to test or learn with the challenge and the volunteering opportunities available, and help all of us experience even more the benefits of participating in voluntary activities, which improves mental health, physical health, and is overall just a lot of fun. Anyway, join us in our Q&A workshop if you'd like to know more. Looking forward to seeing as many of you as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Then the next workshop by Optiver.
Hey, it's me again. We only learned about the second pitch this morning, so it's a bit more improvised, and we have not another play prepared for you, sadly. Yeah, basically what we're going to talk about in the workshop is some basics in financial markets and financial instruments, and how they interact with technology, and then also a bit about our challenge that we're presenting. And I would like to talk a bit more about the challenge we have for you today. And why I think it's very interesting to take part in. So first off, you do not need to have any financial experience already. Like, this is made for techies, not for finance guys. And the idea is that we're going to trade financial instruments which are traded on different exchanges. So there are opportunities that exist because they are on different markets where you then have different, different prices and you can capture those. So it's a very algorithmic challenge that is going to be happening in real time on a simulated exchange. So we have bots that create a market and all the participants interact with each other in real time, which makes it very interesting because your algorithm can play other algorithms and the other way around. Yeah, and that's basically it. In the end, you're not only going to be marked on how much money you make, but also just like how stable is your algorithm, how much are you willing to take risk, are you aware of these risks, do you have any novel ideas? And if that made you interested in any way, we have our workshop where we will talk about this a lot more. And yeah, our booth is just outside. Feel free to talk to us there, and we have all the details that you might be interested in. Thank you.
Then next one, SB Hack.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was waiting for a second round of applause. Thank you. My name is Javier Vicente González, and I'm here to introduce you to Casper technology, Casper blockchain. So the Casper network is a layer 1 proof of stake, permissionless, public, and decentralized blockchain. One second. Yeah, in Casper, we focus on building the right tools, infrastructure, and services for developers like you to allow you actually to build real-world solutions. I know there's like many challenges during this hackathon, but I encourage you to try to solve any of them using Casper technology. It's going to be a good decision. However, we're going to focus on solving real problems using a consumer-oriented utility token. And for that, we have prepared two main scenarios. The first one is the AXA impact token, and the second one is the paperless customer journey at the Zurich airport. So why Casper? First, we are developer friendly. So all the tools and languages you are going to be using for the other challenge, you can use it with Casper. You can code using Visual Studio, JavaScript, Rust, and build your, exactly the same way you build your Web 2 solution, you will build your Web 3 solution. Second, we are basically offering cutting-edge blockchain technology. Our protocol is flexible. We have an upgradable smart contract. We have the only on-chain packet management system, and we have the most advanced NFT technology. So we basically are the only blockchain that allows mutability of the metadata on-chain. We're going to talk about all of this technology during the workshop, and we invite all of you to join. We're going to be available in Discord, Telegram, like anyone else, but you can basically join and it will be following the conversation after the hackathon. And yeah, thank you very much, and I wish you everyone a successful hackathon.
So, next one.
That's a great presentation. Thank you so much. My name is Bogdan, Bogs for short. I think it's probably simple for you to call me that way. It's my first time actually at HackZurich, so I'm looking forward to connect with you in person as many as possible. We actually have two challenges connected with the Velas blockchain. One we developed together with Siemens, and the other one we worked at in partnership with Richemont. So I'll just go over very quickly over the two of them. The first one is called the NFT Explorer, and basically there are many important conversations happening in the blockchain world today. I would just pause for a second and maybe highlight the two of them. First, it revolves around the state of the infrastructure or the immaturity of it. There's still a long way to go to build the necessary tools, for instance, for people to discover very quickly and very easily details about tokens or projects in various blockchain systems, not just in Velas. The second important conversation has to do with energy consumption. And I'm sure many of you know, if not all of you know, and follow probably in media discussions around Bitcoin and the insane amounts of energy consumption with computation for Bitcoin. So I feel like this challenge is merging very nicely there's two conversation into one. In that, if you decide to work on it, you would basically build or hack a tool that would offer people interested to understand more information about NFTs minted on Velas blockchain and drill down into different data or metadata about markets, about volumes, about sales, including the energy consumed with minting NFTs on Velas, basically. The second challenge, the one we developed with Richemont, the context is, so unfortunately there is a big market now of counterfeit physical goods that are associated with products sold by Richemont in different public markets. Now, we are looking to build a tool that basically would identify NFTs associated with the physical goods sold and try to understand and make a distinction which NFTs are actually fake, counterfeit, and which NFTs are real. So it's kind of this pretty much in a nutshell sums up, I would say, the two challenges. The one last thing that I would add is because these two problems are so well rooted into real life problems, we at Velas are thinking about actually for those who are deciding to work on these challenges and continue to work after the hackathon is complete, to encourage you to apply to our ecosystem fund, which is $100 million, and basically apply for a grant that would allow you to continue your project of up to $100,000 per team. So with that, thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you during the workshops later today.
This is not your slide, right? No. Okay. So there were two SP Hack workshops, and now we have workshop number 6 from Siemens.
So we also have two workshops. This is the first one. Hi, my name is Till from Siemens, actually one of the biggest software engineering companies in the world. And beside others, our products guarantee safe, reliable, and efficient railway journeys. So, as you probably know, trains are not really good in dodging obstacles, and they really value their personal space. So, therefore, it's quite important to make sure that there are no obstacles in the way. And since we as Siemens install a lot of field equipment along the tracks, this is something we must pay a lot of attention to. So one of the most important quality checks during installation of our field equipment is to make sure that nothing penetrates the clearance outline of the train. This clearance outline is the minimal area the train needs for a safe journey. You see it here. So today, this quality check is a tedious task done manually with those bulky and clumsy tools. And often those installations take place during normal railway operation in the night. And therefore, speed and efficiency is key for our technicians. So help us revolutionize this task by unlocking the potential of augmented reality. We have a lot of Android video footage and motion sensor data ready for you to bring this clearance outline onto the phone of our staff, digitizing their work. We challenge you to create an AR smartphone app that augments this clearance outline into the camera footage of our people, digitizing their work. This will help them to speed up the installation process significantly. So we're looking forward to getting you started in our workshop and support you at our booth or through Discord throughout the next days. Join our challenge and help us to give trains the space they deserve. See you at the workshop. Thank you.
And then we go to the second Siemens workshop.
Hi guys. My name's Armin. I'm a system architect at Siemens Building Products. I bet if you ever watched a movie and it had a sequence with data in buildings, it probably looked like this. Maybe it looked like this. However, to be honest, reality rather looks like this. Because let's face it, most of the buildings are rather old. And even modern buildings very often don't have everything digitized. As a matter of fact, building owners today, in most cases, have floor plans only available as drawings or maybe as printouts. On the other hand, runtime data of building is almost always available. Fire detectors, air quality and temperature sensors, and nowadays smart meters are available even in very old buildings. This leads to the situation where you have to do number crunching. You have to relate the data with what you have on site. We challenge you to change that. Build a 3D model out of ordinary floor plans, pump it up with data, and visualize it real time. Develop a scenario like a fire breaks out. Let's assume the firefighters arrive on the scene. How could you help them? What would they like to see? Or think of the pandemic, unfortunately, still not over. What rooms would have to be aired next in order to keep air quality at a certain level? Or think of the energy crisis we are currently in. Not only identify energy consumers, but make it visible where they're located. Join us at the booth or join us in our workshops. But most important, guys, have fun. Thank you.
Then we have the next workshop by Hexagon.
Welcome. We, like Geosystems, envision a future where business, industries, and humanity sustainably thrive. Look, this is the latest Total Station. It laser scans 30,000 points per second. It gets millimeter level accuracy. And all of it is critical for a lot of industries to reduce wastage, predict and prevent harm. It's fully packed of features, but all of this doesn't come cheap. Students are only dreaming of learning with such instruments. Also, the pandemic didn't help much. It robbed them of precious practice time, and they have a lot to catch up. Our commitment is to make education accessible and equal for everyone. Look, here is why I'm telling you this, guys. The challenge is about education and how together we can make it more efficient. You have the coding skills and education insights to bring it all and make a simulator for surveyor students so that they can train in a virtual reality. Scan it now. Scan it now. Join our workshops to learn more and get you started. One last tip I have for you. Make it fun, gamify it, find new ways to interact with our instruments in virtual reality. Thank you.
Well done. Then the next workshop, workshop number 9 from Zulke.
Hello everyone, I'm Francesco, from Zulke. Well, it's so nice to be here, back again at this amazing event. I remember it as it was like yesterday when I was sitting in these chairs, excited to be a participant of HackZurich in 2018. Huh? Yeah. In 2018, I had the opportunity to work on an interesting and important challenge. This year, Team Zulke is here with an even more critical challenge. Because, brace yourselves, winter is coming. As of today, up to 40% of the energy that we consume into winter is imported. Now, in Europe, we have an energy crisis, and so it looks like that in the winter we can be short on electricity. Now, I don't know how you see it, but I would rather not want to have blackouts or that energy sources are rationalized, especially because I'm a techie and I have a server at home. Now, we need intelligent minds that work on innovative solutions. And this is where you come in. Join us afterwards at our workshop presentation and let us find groundbreaking solutions. And if you want some tips and tricks from a hack veteran, just come to our booth or write me on Discord. Have fun and be hacking.
Then the next workshop is from Merkel.
Hi everyone, my name is Marcus. I'm with Merkel and I want to invite you to our challenge. Basically, you might ask yourself, who is Merkel and why are they talking about game time? We are a global agency, a digital agency, and this is just the map for Europe. So an agency has offices, and nowadays offices might be not the first place where you guys work in. And we thought, let's digitize this office experience and gamify it. Because what we do in our real world work for our customers, we take their data, we digitally transform their business to make their customers' experiences more digital or better. And for us, our challenge is to gamify the office experience. So give every employee or every potential employee the chance to experience those beautiful offices around the world. They look like that, and actually one is right next door in Puls 5. So there is coffee. We invite you over there and have a coffee with us. And we have gadgets, because gadgets mean to help digitize this experience. Yeah, come to our booth, talk to us in the workshop, and we are looking forward to those games, to those digital virtual experiences, to experience the offices of Merkel. Have fun and see you around.
Thank you very much. Then workshop number 11 by Swiss Re. You need the clicker.
Hello, thanks a lot. I'm Philip. I'm a risk engineer. I'm a senior leader and I'm an innovator. And I want to challenge you. I guess you believe insurance is boring. I'm with Swiss Re. We are a very big insurance company. But guess what? I get to work with drones. We are already using drones today to generate very accurate elevation information for the sites that we insure. We work together with our customers to generate so-called 3D game engine simulations so that our customers can make very smart business decisions how to protect against a flood event. But now I want to challenge you hackers. Help me, because I can move this just to one application. I want you to work on the challenge, should you choose to accept it, to put it on a HoloLens, for example, or on 100 smartphones simultaneously to help save people's lives. So just imagine, all of you, you're trapped in a subway station. It has been raining for days and days, and you cannot get out. The hackers that you're relying on are able to push elevation information to you so that you can reach safety. Are you going through the southern tunnel or the northern tunnel? Or are you staying where you are because the flood water won't really drown you? Join the Swiss Re Challenge. I'm really excited to hack with you.
Then the next workshop challenge.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, cool. All right. So I'm actually not from Holcim, but we've teamed up with Holcim. If it goes next, there we go. I hear a lot of this from a lot of big co's. So like blah blah blah, change the world, blah blah blah. I'm not a big co. I'm a startup called Converge. Well, I'm not a startup, obviously. I'm a person. But I'm one of the founders of Converge. And actually, it's kind of funny because our startup journey started at a hackathon, a bit like this, TechCrunch Disrupt. Don't know if anyone's been to TechCrunch Disrupt. This is a lot fancier, a lot nicer. But it was good. 24 hours, pizza, coffee, no sleep. And we are in, if this works, there we go, the construction tech space, which is a bit of a weird space for startups, not very common, not very sexy. And we've teamed up with, that's supposed to be an X. We've teamed up with Holcim. Holcim's one of the biggest construction material providers in the world. And we're basically here to make construction a lot more sustainable. And why? Well, we want to solve like a real problem, right? And part of this challenge is that we want you to join us on this journey as a startup for 2 days, okay? I mean, you can come and join us if you want, but also for 2 days. And we'll deploy, if you build something good, we'll deploy it on a real construction site and see how it works. We'll give you a bit more time than just the 2 days. You get to refine it a bit as well. That would be a bit tough. But why? Well, you know, construction is really, really bad for the environment, like really, really bad. And yet it's an industry we can't do without. I mean, we're all here in a building. Can you imagine humans without buildings? No. So we kind of have to fix this problem, right? But the scale of the problem is huge. So the built environment's like 38% of global carbon emissions. Concrete on its own makes up for 8% of global carbon emissions, which is huge. But obviously in 2 days, you're not going to solve this problem. I'm sorry if anyone had that belief, but you can tackle a small part of it. And just to give you an idea of how big that is and how much, oh my God, it's totally ruined. Anyway, what this says is, is that, I speak this language, is that over-design accounts for about 1% of cement usage, right? That's just over-specifying cement. And just to put that in context, that's something like 30 million flights to New York, okay? 30 million flights to New York. Is that better? So we think you can have a really sizable impact on this kind of problem. So that's like a tiny piece of the problem, but your leverage is enormous. And so we're opening up our data and Holcim's data. And yeah, come and visit us. We're just literally around that corner. And yeah, make shit happen, like real stuff. It'll be fun. Cheers. Oh, and one thing, like if anyone wants to do this in Haskell, come and talk to me because I freaking love Haskellers. Otherwise, do what you like.
Thank you. So then workshop number 13 from Helsana.
Hello, my name is Arben. I work for Helsana since over 16 years, actually. And Helsana is one of the biggest health insurance companies in Switzerland. And since we work with health and all our customers, myself included, walk around with smartphones and notebooks, we already created 3 health apps, which we provide to our customers. But our devices get smarter all the time. Google and Apple are pushing a lot with their apps, Google Fit, Apple Health, and way more. And also our devices get smarter. We have smart speakers, we have smart watches, we have very funny devices for our heads for augmented and virtual reality, and also a lot of services in the cloud. And we want to challenge you actually to use one of these daily devices and to create a cool new health service. We provide you with devices so you can borrow one virtual reality device, get smart speakers or whatever. you can check in the workshop what we can offer you. And I hope that a lot of you will accept the challenge and create something very cool. Thank you very much.
Then we have the next workshop from Xylem.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Xylem Challenge. Are you passionate about sustainability? Are you passionate about water? And most importantly, do you love having fun while solving it? Then Xylem has a challenge for you. Water scarcity is one of the most pressing environmental issues in the 21st century. Although water covers 70% of our planet, only 1% is actually usable. And in order for us to solve the United Nations Sustainable Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation for all by 2030, we need to act now. At Xylem, we believe that by combining technology and services with behavioral change, the global community can actually make a real impact. Now, the challenge we propose you today is to create a multifaceted social gaming app that brings awareness into action and having fun while solving water challenges. What are you waiting for? Come and join us at our workshop number 14. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Then workshop number 15 from Sunrise.
Yeah, Sunrise UPC. We in the HackZurich. Sunrise UPC at the HackZurich. Come on, yeah. The leading gigabit HFC, made 5G. Hey, come on, Sunrise UPC at the HackZurich. Get up. Sunrise UPC, yeah, yeah.
So we are ready for our challenge, with Sunrise Challenge together with Swisshi and Huawei. And I give over to Björn from Swisshi.
Thank you and good evening. It's a pleasure for me to have a challenge with our partners, Sunrise and Huawei. Our challenge is I am at Swisski, the head of research and development, like overseeing some projects, and we are really looking forward to visualize the optimal race trajectory. And we have some real-time data, which we can also provide you in the challenge. And the challenge will really be about how to visualize the data in a manner that a coach and an athlete can see instantaneously where do I have some potentials to be better. So we are really looking forward to see you, to give you more information in the workshops, and have fun.
Now the 16th workshop from Schindler.
Hello everyone, we are Schindler, one of the world leading elevator companies, and this is our pitch. This is a very common time for an elevator trip. And these were some awkward and boring 30 seconds, right? Well, I am sure that at least once you had similar feelings while waiting or while traveling in an elevator with other people. Our team of developers is working to avoid that. We use our digitally connected elevators to move people from A to B in an easy and entertaining way. We believe it's time to think differently about user journeys. If you also think so, please join our hands-on challenge to help us revolutionize the passenger experience. And we are in room Fortran, which is very difficult to find. It's basically above us. I mean, we took 30 minutes to find it before, so I just wanted to give you this information. So if you want to come to our workshop, you don't get lost in the building. Thank you very much.
Then the next workshop from Sensirion.
Hi, everyone. I'm Willy. I'm an R&D engineer at Sensirion. So you ask yourself, what is Sensirion? Sensirion, the name implies it already. We build sensors, we develop them, and we especially love to build sensors for environmental sensors. So what we did, we basically took our own sensors and built them, integrated them into working prototypes. We also love to see them and put them into our own building, our own headquarters. We also took some outdoor data and gathered them with a little bit of metadata from the heating system. And we now ask you to take action on this data and to improve our indoor air quality and also our heating system for the upcoming winter to reduce a little bit on energy costs. I'm looking forward to see you at the workshop. Yeah, all the details here, and have a nice hack.
Then workshop number 18.
Hi, my name is Suela. I'm working for the Federal Office of IT, and together with our friends from the DSCC, we have created a challenge, Make Climate Change Tangible for Swiss Citizens. Now, I think we can all agree that with this year's summer still fresh in our minds, climate change already has become quite tangible, hasn't it? Well, but if that's the case, why should you take part in our challenge? Let me ask you a question. How many of you remember what it felt like living through any of the 3 heat waves rolling across Europe in 2019, or the one the year before? If you can't, don't feel bad, you're helping me prove my point, because that's exactly the challenge or the core of the problem we want to tackle with our challenge. If we want to comprehend how climate change is affecting us personally, we need to be able to form a bigger picture. But that is exactly where our memory oftentimes fails us. So help us change that by developing an innovative solution that aids people in comprehending the effects climate change has on them and their lives in an innovative way. I think I already said that, but you know. So in the back you can see we provide you with a lot of tools which help you master our challenge. And if you want to know more, you can come visit us at our workshop. You can see the details here in the back. And we'd be very happy to work with you this weekend. So don't hesitate contacting us if you have any questions. Thank you very much for your attention.
And then the last workshop from ZF.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm with ZF, and we are working on the next generation mobility, and it's such a critical enabler for the supply chain, the global supply chain, to bring the cargo and the people to the stores and to your doorsteps. My name is Gandert. I'm the head of innovation for commercial vehicle solutions, and together with my global innovation team, we are working on solutions to make road transport safer and more energy efficient, especially for fleets and shippers. At CF, we are in a very transformative period. We have new technologies coming into our space: autonomy, robotics, e-mobility, but also more advanced analytics like AI. And they all come with the promise to improve road transport, to improve safety towards zero accidents, towards zero emissions. We at ZF, we develop all those components, and you will find them on every vehicle in the world. And we are connecting those vehicles to the cloud. At the moment, we have 200,000 connected vehicles, and we are on a path to reach the million in a few years. Imagine what you can do with that. And if you're connecting the vehicle data with other sources, the possibilities are endless, and we are touching every aspect of road transport. And here you come in. We need you to bring your talents, to bring your technologies, to bring your visions to our transport sector, because together we should change the world, improve the world, to get it towards zero accidents and zero emissions. Come to our booth and again, have fun and see you later.
So these were all the 19 workshops, and you will find them in the workshop rooms, which is also, you can find the list online or outside. We have it printed out. Now we have one more pitch from one of our partners, and then afterwards the tech talks and then the keynote. So I'll hand over to Aussie.
Hello, HackZurich. I am Gregory from Aussie, Switzerland. We are a very passionate digital enabler, and like you guys here today, it is our daily passion and our daily job to find creative solutions for our clients and our customers. And we are here today to find new colleagues. We are looking for software developers and architects. We are specialized in software development, in consulting, and in agile methods. So it would be our pleasure if we could meet some of you guys. It would be our pleasure if you could meet some of you guys today. So please don't hesitate to contact us, to get in touch with us, or to scan our shirts if you are rather shy. We wish you a lot of fun with the challenge and a lot of luck. Go for it. Go HackZurich. Thank you.
And then finally, we have the free tech talks for Saturday, which I'll also quickly introduce. So we have ANSYS, EY, and Microsoft, and they will all also be streamed to the YouTube channel. So the first tech talk is from ANSYS. Someone is here to present it. Otherwise, we can go to the second tech talk and then go back. EY. Round of applause, please.
Do I have another slide? Hello and welcome to Zurich, everyone. My name is Max, I'm from EY, and tomorrow I will have the pleasure of giving you a tech talk about the metaverse. I will be speaking about what is the metaverse, what's going on in the market, what do we see as EY, why is it important for the future. We will dive into Decentraland, walk around a little bit, and we also have a booth just right by the entrance where you can come, ask the questions you have, and walk around yourself. Very much looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, and the best of luck for your hack. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then the third tech talk from Microsoft.
All right. Hello, everybody from Microsoft. All right. So, yeah, thanks for showing up this year again. We are also here. It's not the first time. Actually, Microsoft is a very frequent let's say, participant on hackathons and HackZurich in particular. And yeah, tomorrow we have the pleasure to give you another tech talk. And I really promised it was not, it's a total accidental with the previous person from EY, that we're basically really well connected on that. So this year, I would say everything is about building for the future, building for the metaverse, extending the reality, mixed reality. This is what we want to see you guys and people to do more, to give us some impulses, how to build for this, well, new paradigm of technical and innovative systems. So, but before that, skip that one. So this is a QR code, scan that gives you to a landing page. Regardless what kind of challenge or whatever you want to build, you will find some credits there for Azure, for our platforms if you want to use it, and also a link to the landing page, actually for the challenge from Swiss Re, which we are supporting a little bit with our expertise this year. But you will also find in general a lot of interesting information about building for mixed reality, HoloLens devices, augmented reality, and things like that. And finally, tomorrow, a colleague or a partner of ours will be here at HackZurich. Paul Affentranger will talk about the building blocks that are required for building mixed reality apps and the metaverse. So as you can imagine, it requires totally new ways of designing things, of interacting, building human-machine interaction patterns and components. And it will be a very exciting talk, technical talk from Paul, showing you the foundations and how to build for this new type of platforms. Yeah, hope to see you there. And if you have any questions around Microsoft, our technologies, the challenges, what you can do with us, yeah, visit us at the booth and or hit us up on Discord. Thanks and have fun and lots of success. Thank you.
So now we would do the keynote from Kirill. Kirill is a founder from Enki, and he's a serial entrepreneur, and he will tell us a bit more about his story. So big round of applause, please, for Kirill, and while we switch the slides.
Hello, hello. I think lots of people had trouble with the microphone, so I'm going to keep this close. If anyone, there is some space around here, so if anyone wants to kind of move up, feel free. I'm excited to be here. My name is Kirill. Anyone who hasn't heard of my background at all, I started hacking out like a lot of you guys, hacking on various products before really hackers existed, or it was in any way filling up rooms like this about 16 or 17 years ago. And now I've since then started a few companies, one called Quid, which works with 10 to 20% of the Fortune 1000. A hotel booking company, ETG, which has revenues of a couple of $100 million a year. And now I'm working on a company called Enki, which is used by millions of developers of all skill levels to improve their skills. And so what I wanted to just share was really some insights of what I wish I had known 17 years ago when I started to hack on various projects and startups. And you know, this is really exciting. I mean, because you guys, everyone here, I just remember that time 17 years ago when I knew absolutely nothing, which is why I'm kind of excited to share my naivete and what I've learned since then in the process. So probably mentioned, why is my talk called Mixing Copper and Tin? So anyone who has any wild guesses can have a think. The reveal will come on later, but it is a big reason as to why it's become clear over the last 15 years why hackers, developers, technical folks are the ones that are winning in today's economy, right? 17 years ago when I was starting, it was completely niche. It was kind of almost a joke that a developer could build something and it could reach hundreds of millions, let alone now billions of people. There were the standard thinking at the time, I mean, I exchanged emails with various professors, a few years ago at kind of Stanford and Cornell and so on, and they said, well, all our companies that have been spun out succeed, but as long as there's a business person in the room. Why would you think that? Well, you need the voice of the customer. And so it's kind of pretty, it was kind of a joke that technical people, hackers, could somehow listen and understand what users need, right? And now that's become evident, and some of the biggest companies in the world have been built by developers. And so this is what I wish I'd known. A lot of things have become clearer, but let's start with, should you even become an entrepreneur? So a lot of you are probably thinking about, should you start a company, go out on the plunge by yourself, rather than working for a big company? Maybe some of you already have made that leap, but I wish I'd even known some of these thoughts or things that really would have maximized my chance of success. And that's really my goal here, is kind of hopefully all of you will build, if not hugely influential companies, then at least optimize your decision making to make your professional lives as happy as possible over the next few years. So first thing as a developer, and by the way, for a bit of context, my two best friends when I moved to San Francisco back in 2006 were in the very first Y Combinator batch. So I got to know a lot of the Y Combinator community quite closely, and this first part kind of taps into some of the insights as to what were the common themes among successful entrepreneurs, in particular technical entrepreneurs. So the first is independent thinking. So there are many professions where independent thought is not rewarded, right? So, if for example, you are an accountant, just as one example, I mean, you want to be correct, but you don't want to be too contrarian, right? You don't want to veer too far away from the norm, right? But as an entrepreneur, as we all know, and I could kind of write a book about this, but you need to learn how to think independently, because the best companies and ideas are those where you think for yourself and are different and correct in your thinking, but also different to what everyone else is thinking. Doing whatever it takes. So this is everyone's heard the word grit. Really a kind of a common theme is, you have to be able to hustle. I'll come on more to that in terms of doing things that don't scale, but you have to do whatever it takes. A bit of naughtiness. So a lot of successful entrepreneurs, I mean, we all know some of the unusual traits of Steve Jobs, but kind of there's a lot of hacking, not just in the technical sense of the word, but also in doing whatever it takes in the context and breaking the right kind of rules, right? You can't break all the rules because then you're just going to kind of fall flat on your face. But there's certain rules you have to be willing to break and cut corners on in the right way. Truth seeking. This is part of thinking for yourself, because in the end of the day, and I'll just run forward to the last points, which is the fact that you need to be willing to go all in and make a full commitment. But what you do not need is a lot of expertise. You do not need a lot of experience. And all that matters, and this is related to the truth-seeking point, is that you deeply, deeply understand your customers or your users, whoever you're selling to, because you want to find out the truth as to exactly what their needs are and make sure you serve them. So one other thing, which is a bit, more of a personal moment, but haven't really seen discussed anywhere, is kind of one of the reasons that folks seem to doubt themselves when they go out and strike out on their own, is that they think, oh, I won't be able to go back to whatever I'm doing. I don't have a safety net around me. And it's totally true. I mean, it's rarely spoken, but it's 100% true that so many entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs who have gotten a lot of success did come from a family of relative wealth, right? They had that safety net in their heads. They thought, well, worst comes to the worst, I'm not going to end up on the streets. Everything's going to be fine, right? But what I found, it turns out, is that this safety net is actually a bit of a myth, and it's just something that's in their heads, but it's something that can be thought of by anyone, no matter what their background is, no matter what their family is, and no matter what advice they're getting around that. And so just realize that actually your family there are a lot of people who, quote unquote, could be within your family and be helping out. And believe me, even if you leave your job and start out, believe me, they'll be happy to take you back with all the experience you found by actually doing genuine work that appeals to what users and customers really need. So, on ideas, a lot of you probably already have ideas, but we all know the Thomas Edison quote, the genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. A lot of people overplay this a lot in startups, saying ideas don't really matter that much. That all that matters is execution. Now, that's wrong. The reality is, and a lot of kind of second-time entrepreneurs realized this when they were doing their first company. They found it out the wrong way. Like, what exactly your idea is and how you think about structuring it and what kind of market you go for and when is so important in terms of where you're going to end up. So James Currier at NFX has this quote. NFX is one of the top marketplace and general tech investors in the Valley. And so just thinking about that idea is really, really important, especially if you're going to spend 5, 10, 15, if your company goes very well. If you spend that long on your company, you should probably spend a bit of time making sure that the initial larval formation of whatever you're doing is the right thing, right? So what gives, right? So a lot of people say ideas are not that important. Execution is pretty much everything. But it seems that what the idea is, since obviously there are a lot of ideas that just fail, is really important. So how do you evaluate ideas? Just some quick, non-obvious things that I've learned in the last 15 years. So the first thing is the main mistake people make, especially when they start their first company, is they just go for things and ideas that just sound good and are familiar to them, right? This is why everyone works on, the cliche, when Facebook got a lot of traction, the social networking apps, calendar apps. As soon as someone has worked at a company, they start working on kind of B2B solution that just sounds good. The problem with that is that usually the product just ends up being moderately appealing and okay, and it just sounds good enough for you to carry on and think it's okay, but you're just going to waste a lot of time because in the end of the day, just customers just will not pick it up as much as they could do. So instead, one piece of advice is to really, and this is where hackers have a big advantage, that where developers have a big advantage, appeal to your inner intellectual curiosity. Because, how was Google started? Sergey Brin and Larry Page were just intellectually curious about how the web could be searched in a more effective way. They didn't want to build a big company. They weren't thinking how to structure it in a way that was exciting to investors at that time. They were just deeply intellectually curious about that problem, right? And so that's a pretty good way to think about ideas or how your idea can evolve. And it's going to be in line with something you're going to be passionate about. So if you're going to work on it for 10 plus years, it might as well be something you're intellectually curious about. Obviously, making something people want. Y Combinator and Paul Graham have stated this many times, but what's really, really important is that we think we're working on something that people want because we're all biased, and we think, of course, people want this because I'm building it. And we have a lot of biases that just make us think that it's something. But so you've got to be really critical as to the actual need and the depth of the need and the urgency of the need of whoever you're selling to. Find the fastest moving water. So the metaphor here is that the technology industry it's like a passage of moving water, right? It ebbs and flows. Some things are moving fast, some things are moving slow. In the last few years, crypto, well, until this year, has been moving very fast, as an example. And so your responsibility as an entrepreneur and someone who is starting a company is to understand those trends and veer your company towards those. Because believe me, you can, with terrible execution, if you're in the fast-moving water, nothing can stop you. and vice versa. No matter how brilliant you are and amazing you are and how good your product is, if you're in a slow moving part of the water, you're just not going to get very far. It's unfair, but that is literally how technology markets work. Innovate just enough. You want to follow technological trends. I mentioned crypto a little bit as an example. You want to understand what other trends are personally interesting for you. For me personally, it's personal development and how technology is impacting that at scale right now with my current company. And then you want to innovate just enough, right? You don't want to go something too crazy that it's just not something that can be picked up by the market, but you don't want to be something too similar to anything existing. So innovate just enough. And then finally, just in terms of thinking about ideas, hopefully this is useful. Well, Adobe just acquired Figma for $20 billion. And that is, I think, by far the highest revenue multiple in technology acquisition history. And certainly among B2B companies. And the lesson there is that, well, actually, I'll mention two others. There are two of the other kind of highest revenue multiple companies, which are Slack and GitHub, which were acquired by Salesforce and Microsoft. And kind of what is the common theme there? Among those three, yes, they're all collaboration tools, which gives us a hint for kind of what is valuable, but companies and products which are defensible, right? Can't be copied easily, have a network effect, have predictable revenue, are much more valuable. Those and well, hopefully they're growing very quickly. It was actually amazing. Figma was kind of growing at 400 million ARR and 100% a year. And so but if you don't have those components, including the growth, your revenue numbers are just not going to deliver a good enough outcome. So just keep that in mind when you think about the company or product you're going to spend the next 10 years working on. Okay, how are we doing for time, by the way? Are we? I don't see the timer, and I'm just chatting. Are we good? All right, no feedback. I'll just keep going. This is great. I'm going to elaborate on do things, don't scale. Again, a Y Combinator piece of advice that's commonly talked about. It's kind of always talks about how Airbnb did a lot of things that don't scale initially. Stripe, for example, there's, I think it's even called the kind of the Collison effect, who's the founder of Stripe, who instead of asking, will you try my beta, and then send a link, he would literally just take the laptop of whoever said, yes, I'll try your beta, and just download a Stripe for them, right? So, but let me elaborate on the do things that don't scale aspect. The reality, and this is really important for developers and hackers, right? Because we as developers and hackers tend to think that we will build a great and beautiful product and then it will just take off. That's just kind of the bias we have, because we're supposed to be building beautiful, elegant software, right? And then it will just take off. The reality is that the way startups take off is when founders ensure that they take off, right? And so you've got to kind of, one metaphor here is like, cars in the old times, instead of having an automatic key, you would have to kind of work on the engine and kind of get it kick-started before the engine would start revving, right? So that's something to keep in mind, where, and sometimes that takes many years, sometimes that takes months. It's very, very rare that instantly your company will take off. So keep that in mind as just something that's kind of really important. And then another thing in the context of, what are the kind of typical buckets of things that don't scale that are important? It's recruiting your initial users or customers and hustling to make sure that you do that, and then delighting them, right? So these are the kind of two big things that I would kind of suggest everyone to think about as you're building your products, iterating on them, and trying to get them to launch as quickly as possible, right? And so there are a lot of blog posts online you can read about how to recruit users initially, but it takes a lot of work often, especially if you're, for example, in enterprise sales, right? It's long sales cycles. With consumer companies, it usually takes a lot of iterations you have to recruit many ways of users before you find product market fit, because it just is almost definitely you're not going to figure out what is the right product that strikes the nerve that's going to generate the growth you want. And so you may have to go through many waves and waves of recruiting users and doing a lot of hustling and manual work. And this is where the determination comes in, right? I mentioned before, it's like if you know, determination is really important. If it's not something for you, then it's probably not best to work on a startup, to be perfectly frank, right? Because this is a really, really important component. And then the delight aspect, well, the key thing to note here, again, can talk a lot about this and a lot of blog posts written about this, but the main thing about delighting your users is that this is the key way that you differentiate against big companies and the rest of the competition. So if you've built your wonderful buggy piece of software, it's going to be buggy. I hope it's buggy when you launch it. It's because otherwise you're launching, unless you're doing a medical startup, you're launching too late. But delight is the difference between how you can differentiate against big company products. Because Steve Jobs, well now Tim Cook can't write a handwritten note to all of you every time you buy a Mac, right? But if you're starting a laptop hardware company, you could, right? Your software is going to be worse than Apple's, but you can bridge the gap by delighting your users. And believe me, that is actually kind of a big reason for those initial users to actually do whatever you want them to do to help out. At worst, give feedback and be part of the subsequent iteration waves. But maybe if you're lucky, actually pay you, which is kind of what you want to get to as quickly as possible. Okay, I talked about mixing copper and tin. Okay, for everyone here who knows what happens when you mix copper and tin, you make bronze, right? I'm not going to go down the chemistry lesson, but basically copper and tin are quite you know, flimsy by themselves. But if you mix them, you make this beautiful, you can make this kind of stuff. This guy's clearly very, very ready to take on the world. So what do I want to say with this metaphor? Well, I believe that developers and hackers actually can be the kind of the bronze statue that I'm referring to here. Why? Because it's very powerful to be able to build things as a developer and a hacker. But if you're also able to combine that with knowing what to make, right? Which back in the good old days was seen as being done by quote unquote the business guy. But it's been proven over the last 15, 20 years that in fact it's better if that's done by the technical guys and the hackers who are actually building the product. And when they're listening to users who are giving that feedback, are closest to the product and know how to change it quickest, right? And so this combination is very, very powerful. And so, guys, make sure you take the opportunity. You have a hugely unfair advantage in a market which has endless possibilities, right? There are ups and downs here, especially this year. Some types of categories are slow, but there's still so much potential in technology, right? It's becoming clear now that developers can win in building companies that are legendary, influential, and you are at a kind of prime time. And coupled with that, unlike it was my case 15 years ago, all the technologies have mainstream levels of users, whether it's mobile users, crypto's getting there, and any new technology just gets mainstream adoption enough to make a huge business very quickly. So, and why do you, let's break it actually down, just worth spending another 30 seconds on why do developers have an unfair advantage and why they win. The first thing is that, well, the best ideas are driven by intellectual curiosity, and the best hackers are just fundamentally intellectually curious. Secondly, they can build a thing by themselves. So a lot of you here, guys, don't need a business guy to kind of product manage whatever's going on, and you can build a thing. Then once you understand what feedback you're getting from customers and users, you listen to that, you empathetically understand the difference between what they're saying and what they really need, and then you just keep improving, right? And you're the closest to the product. You don't need anyone else, right? And so this is a real superpower, and make sure you make the most of it. So I think that's the pretty much the last section. And just wanted to mention some tips as to, yes, you guys are all have superpowers, but what do you have to fight? What do you have to battle with? What's going to get in your way? What's going to stop you from winning? So the first thing is, well, this kind of tends to be relevant for all, pretty much humans in general, but us developers tend to be more shy and lazy than the average entrepreneur. And this goes completely counter to the whole doing things, not scale, and determination aspects of things, right? Like I mentioned before, we think like building something beautiful and elegant, that's just going to work. And we'll leave someone else to talk to users and customers. It doesn't work like that. It's someone has to do that. But again, if you're doing it, that's even better. Customer service. A lot of developers, I guess, tend to think, customer service and delighting users, that's not for us. We should hire maybe someone who's done some customer service before. It doesn't work like that. Again, you're going to miss that gap and not be able to iterate and keep improving your product. Perfection is your enemy, right? So most of us here, I assume pretty much everyone has been to either at university or has been to university. And academia is wonderful at drilling into us the importance of perfection, right? Well, perfection, in pretty much all cases in startups, is our enemy. Because it stops us. It's just an excuse for procrastination. It's like, the product's not quite ready, we'll wait, we'll launch it. Well, now you've got, you're 24% closer to running out of money, right? So perfection is your enemy. And pretty much in all cases, I mentioned, perhaps if you have a medical startup where there's a huge downside of a mistake, perhaps there you want to have, keep, that's as an exception. But in pretty much all other cases, it's perfection is your enemy, and you just want to make sure that you keep moving as fast as possible. Big company brainwashing. Lots of big companies in news, Adobe, Google, Microsoft. And we have this bias, especially because a lot of us developers have a bit of an imposter syndrome. We're like, we should act like the big guys, right? We should act like the Google developers do, or the Microsoft developers do. Hello, someone here from Microsoft. Don't believe their lies, because everything they say is not true. Some of it is true, but it's not relevant for how you should act. And it's a fact. It's okay. It's okay to be fragile. It's okay. No one says when a little baby is born, like this one, no one says, oh, she's not going to do anything. She's not going to have a high-flying job. No. She has the support around her in the first, well, probably 18 years, maybe less, maybe more. But as a startup, it's okay to be fragile because you don't have that support. And your only purpose, just like this baby would have to do, is to not die. Your only purpose is just to get through those first few years, which are the toughest. And believe me, if you act like the Googles and the Microsofts of this world, you will die. So, where was I? Don't game the system. This is another big thing which academia has taught us very well. So, in school, we're like, I was totally guilty of this, right? In my degree, I totally, I'm pretty much sure like everyone here, in my degree, I did a mathematics degree, and quantum mechanics was not my thing, and I hacked the system. So I figured out what is the likelihood. I analyzed all the past examination papers and predicted the pattern of which questions would show up in quantum mechanics, and of the correctly guessed, I was very lucky, but correctly guessed the 8 questions of the possible 30 that would show up, and I only, figured out how to do those. Got 100% quantum mechanics, which was the only reason I managed to kind of do okay in my exams. And so academia has taught us to game the system. In startups, this does not work. And all of us as hackers, we kind of want to kind of do shortcuts. Whenever we see a lock, we want to pick it. We want to, go around the system. But with startups and building a valuable product, this does not work. The only thing that matters is what do your customers need, what do they want, and how urgently and how much they want it. And can you deliver that, right? And so that's the only thing that matters. And that kind of gives me, that's inspiring, right? Because what that tells me is you can do good, genuine work. You can do good, genuine work that actually speaks to the truth of the market. In a big company, you can actually game the system, right? You can suck up to your boss. You can cut corners and pretend someone else, made your mistakes. And you can succeed in a big company by gaming the system. And so, if that sounds exciting to you, maybe it's better to stay or go to a big company. But in startups, what's really important is gaming the system does not work. And like I mentioned before, the secret, there's no silver bullet, but there is one. Silver bullet is just don't let the silver bullet hit you. Just don't die, right? And so some thoughts from why, of what I learned and what a lot of my entrepreneurial friends learned in terms of, or some advice for how not to die, is just the reality is that it's just a process. And kind of what I found is that things will get really hard and really tough, especially if you have a small founding team or if you're a founder, just sole founder. You are literally going to be once a week staring into the abyss and thinking, why the hell am I doing this? If you're lucky, you're getting paid at this point, but maybe you're not getting paid, and it will be hard. But you know what? Next day, you can get up, and first of all, life will go on. And believe me, if you just approach it from a can-do, there's always a solution approach, you can just get through it. The process is not as scary as you think. And you got to be patient. These things take time. Valuable companies take time. You've been brainwashed by media to say that YouTube and Instagram were bought after a couple of years for a lot of money. Well, yes, but they didn't become big until 8-9 years after launching. So this takes time. It's hard. There's going to be ups and downs. And so you got to be patient. But just whatever you do, do not be patient with your processes, talking to users, and whatever you do not give up. And just the last thing worth mentioning, for those of you that have already started to spend somewhat in a company, just as you get going, just keep in mind, and this is a mistake I made in pretty much all our companies. This is like one of those mistakes where you know you're going to make it, but you still make it. But growth is not tied to spending, at least not how you think, right? So most people think, okay, we've got to spend to grow. It's usually the other way around. You grow because you've hit a nerve. Again, coming back to what do your customers need and what do they want and how urgently. If they want it and they're urgently, they're going to pay you for it. That's where you get the growth. And then that's where the spending will come in. So it's usually the other way around. So just to end, guys, so excited for everyone who's building interesting stuff. There are literally limitless opportunities out there. You guys as developers and hackers have a huge unfair advantage, So, so don't mess it up. Don't give it up. And whatever you do, don't build moderately appealing products. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you so much for the great keynote. So now, before jumping to the dinner, we would take a group photo. So what I would like to do is ask everybody to come here on the stage and follow the instructions of the camera team. You can go on the stage. Ja. Ciao. Wo ist die Kameraperson?